Getting your ad copy right is an essential element for success with Google Ads. Because let's face it, if someone doesn't click on your ad, they're not going to convert. With this simple equation being, no clicks means no conversions for your business. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the 4 key elements that you need for success with your Google Ads ad copy. And right at the start of this video, I also really want to emphasize that further to these 4 key elements that you need for success with your Google Ads ad copy, even at the end of 2024, as we move into 2025, you still need to be going through a process of split testing your ads. Now, since the launch of responsive search ads, many people feel like they don't need to do a manual split testing process in Google Ads because you can put up to 15 different headlines and 4 different descriptions and just let Google do the rest. However, I want to really emphasize this point that in all of our Google Ads accounts, we're seeing much better results when we still go through a manual split testing process for our Google Ads ad copies. And to make sure that you're on top of all of the different optimization actions that you need to be completing for all of your Google Ads campaigns. So this is everything from search, shopping, performance max, display, video, and also demand gen. I've put together my updated Google Ads optimization checklist, which not only takes you through all of the different optimization actions you need to complete, but it also importantly lets you know whether that action needs to be completed every week, every month, or every 90 days. And if you want to get access to my updated Google Ads optimization checklist, just follow that link in the description below. Now, in this video, I'm going to really be focusing on the headlines of your ad copy. And the reason for why I focus so much time and energy into getting my headlines right is because if the headlines don't attract people, they're not going to read your description and they're not going to go through and click on your ad. So the real focus is all about getting your headlines right. And the reason for why your headlines are so important is because regardless of the spend that you have in your Google Ads campaigns, so whether you're a small mom and dad business or a large multinational company, there's a level playing field with Google search ads. And that level playing field is that you all have to adhere to the same font sizes, the same font color, the same character limits, and also we've all got the same editorial policies that we need to adhere to. So the only point of difference you have is the text that you use in your headlines. And before we get into some practical examples of why you still need to spend a lot of time on your headlines, I really want to set this foundational standard that I have to really see success with Google Ads. And if you can get this principle and this principle alone, you will already be way ahead of all of your competitors. And what this bonus tip is that with your Google Ads ad copy, you want to say things that others can't say or that they won't say. When you're planning out your ad copy, you want to go and do a manual search of the core keywords that you're targeting and have a look at what your competitors are saying. And what you want to go through here is you want to go, what are the unique selling points that I can include in my ad copy that my competitors cannot say or they are not currently saying? And by doing that, you're then creating a point of difference and you're giving a reason for the user to click on your ad as opposed to your competitors' ads. And what you're doing here is you're really visualizing how your ads will appear versus your competitors' ads. And you really want to take a larger view of the ads and really ask this question: why would a user click on your ad versus your competitor's ad? And it's really about how can you make your ads stand out even though you've all got the same font colors, font sizes, and also have got all the same character limits. So keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the training. But right now, let's jump into some real examples of what can happen when you do go through a split testing process for your Google Ads campaigns. So let's start going through these 2 examples. And what I always want you to remember is that better ads means better results for your Google Ads campaigns. And I just want to show you here 2 examples of what your business or your campaigns can achieve with better ads. So remember how I said you want to be saying things that your competitors aren't saying or they can't say. For this business, what we did is we removed the generic statements that they had about saving money. And what we did is that we added in a percentage and a real value saying. So what you can see through here is these are the examples. Rather than just saying they had generic statements of save on your foot pain assessment, what we did is we added in the percentage that they would be saving, which in this example is 65%. And then we also clarified it with how much it will actually cost them. And I want you to see what happened with their click-through ratio from May to September. We saw that grow from 4.86% up to 8.85. So a really significant increase. Just that slight little change of adding in an extra ad for ad copy testing, we saw their ad copy have an 182% increase in their click-through ratio. ratio. So the process that we did for this is that we copied their original ad and then we updated these two different headlines. We pinned in this top headline, and that's how we created that split test. And then for this campaign, now this campaign isn't a search campaign, this is a video campaign. And what we did here is we tested different formats and then paused the underperforming ads. And what this did is that this increased the spending on the best ads. Now, generally we will start with only 2 ads. So what we did here is that we started with video 1 and video ad 2. We then went through some different levels of split testing, and then we saw that these 2 were the best performing ads. And what that did with the split testing, it increased this campaign from seeing 5 conversions a week all the way up to 33 conversions a week. All right, so now that I've taken you through that fundamental skill of you wanting to say things that other competitors can't say or won't say in their ads, and really looking at what are the unique selling points that you can highlight in your ad copy that only you can say. And remember, you want to go through and do a manual search and really look at and ask the question, how are my ads different and how do they stand out from other competitors who are targeting the same keywords? And then secondly, I've also shown you some real life examples of what can happen when you do go through a split testing process and how that can affect not only your click-through ratio, but your conversion rates. And now, as promised, I want to take you through those 4 key elements that you need to have in all of your ads. And the first one, and this is one that most people do have, in that you need to have a good keyword focus in your ad copy. And this one makes sense because remember, the goal of Google Ads is to match highly relevant user search terms with highly relevant ad copy, taking people through to highly relevant landing pages. So it makes sense that you want to make sure that your headlines have a good keyword focus in them. But what I do want to say here is that this is sometimes the only thing that a lot of ads have in them, that they're just a different repeat of keyword focus the only time. Now, if you're using dynamic keyword insertion, you only need one headline that has keyword focus in it, because with that dynamic keyword insertion, it's then dynamically inserting the keyword which triggered the user's ad. And a general recommendation that it gives a lot of people is that they've got too many headlines which are focusing on that keyword focus. The second thing is that you should have a brand name mentioned. Now, for some businesses, the brand will be very similar to the keyword, but even if it's not, I do like to dedicate some of the headline, and sometimes you can get the keyword and the brand in the same headline. And the reason for this is because I know for long-term success, it is really about getting your brand name out to the public. So you're paying for the ad, so you might as well add in that branding in there as well. Just remember, with the brand mention, if you don't want to dedicate a whole headline to it, remember that you can use brand mentions in a keyword focus and also a call to action. Just depends on the length of your brand, but you can be creative to fit both of those elements into one headline. Now let's get into the third and fourth elements, and these are the ones which people will often miss. And the first one is a call to action, but I want to add it in there because a lot of people do have a call to action, but what we want to focus on here is a strong call to action. And what I'm talking about that is that you want to remove all wishy-washy call to actions like call now or book today or save now. And this is a great opportunity for you to add in a percentage or a dollar value saving. So for example, if you do have a sale on at the moment, you can, rather than just saying save today, you can have save 20% or save 10%. Or what you can also do is that if you're a more expensive or a more premium product, you can actually use that dollar value to help lower down the amount of low quality leads or low quality clicks that you're getting by putting in the minimum price. And we've used this to great success, especially for B2B services where they're dealing with a more expensive part of the market, where their service starts at $99 a month, and there might be a whole heap of other competitors which have services starting from $49 or $39 or $79, whatever the situation is. By adding in that price, it is also a great way of toughening up that call to action and really speaking to who your product is for and who is best suited to your product or services. So as I said, most people will have those first 3, but when it gets to this fourth one, and this is the one which is often missed, but is the most powerful. And if you incorporate this into your ad copies, you will be seeing better results. And this is all about emotional triggers. And what I'm talking about here is that you want to use your ad copy to build some level of pain or some level of desire. So use an emotional trigger, and this can be anything from curiosity to amusement to fear of missing out. And this one does take a little bit of time. So what I do recommend here is that you get a Google Sheet or open up a notes on your phone and just start to brainstorm and write some different ways that you can generate some emotional triggers. You can also do this in an AI tool like ChatGPT and really throw it over to them to give you some extra ways how you can build some emotional triggers into your ad copies. So what I really want to do after this video is firstly go through and do that manual search and really start to find out some information about what ad copy are your competitors including in their ads. And then you want to go through and do some brainstorming about how you can toughen up your call to actions and add in some emotional triggers so that you're saying things in your ad copies that your competitors can't say or that they're not saying, so that you stand out from the crowd, which is going to help you to not only get more clicks, but also get more conversions. So thank you so much for joining me. And remember, if you want to get that extra assistance on how to optimize your Google Ads campaigns, make sure you follow the link in the description below so you can get access to my Google Ads optimization checklist. Remember, that is my newly updated checklist. And also this video is part of a playlist which I release every year, which is called Get Google Ready for 2025. And this is where I take you through not only how to correctly set up all of the different types of campaigns in Google Ads, but also how to optimize them. And if you want to make sure that you never miss any of these videos when they're released, make sure that you don't only subscribe, but turn on that notification bell. And if you go to this playlist right here, you can watch all the videos which are currently live on YouTube. See you next time.